I was talking with a friend of mine on Discord yesterday, and what he said just blew my mind. We were talking about how, despite the fact that the mainstream media has very low ratings, and despite the fact that the trust in mainstream media is at an all-time low, the mainstream media is still able to dictate what people think.
Yeah, you guys are going crazy. He's doing, what are you so surprised about? He's doing exactly what he said he's going to do.
Well, and I think that the dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah.
That is our job. That is our job. That is our job.
And we noticed this especially in the year of 2020, where you have things that are contradicting themselves to such a level that no honest person can say with a straight face that the corporate press isn't trying to lie to them. I mean, besides the fact that the people that appear on television are just reading a script, it's the fact that they're paid actors. I mean, they work for a corporation, they have a boss which writes a script for them to read, but apparently that's not enough to convince people that what they are seeing is not organic, is not grassroots. You also have memes like fiery but mostly peaceful protest, where CNN literally has a burning police station behind them, and they're saying to you, no, this is okay, this is peaceful, don't panic, it's fine. And then you also have the narrative, right? Like there's the deadly plague happening, which is so serious, so powerful that everyone needs to shut down their businesses and stay at home and stay safe. And literally the next day they're saying, no, everyone needs to go out and protest. Like, any person should wonder, like, why is the mainstream media hating the protesters so much? Why do they want the protesters to get sick? But no one asked that question, right? And then when the protesters are over, everyone needs to go back inside. And if any person in your life would do this to you, like if any person in your life would say, you need to stay in your house, now you need to go out, now you need to stay back, you would ask questions. Like, there is no way that people would put up with this, but when it comes from the magical television, all of a sudden people just do what they are told. So why is this happening? Well, the conclusion that we came up to is that there are certain people in society that don't have confidence in themselves anymore. People who are very weak and they seek comfort within the group. So when they see something on the television, instead of asking whether or not if it's true, instead of having like the same thought process that you would do when you buy a house, like when you go and you buy a house, you don't trust the expert that's selling you the house. You're looking, you're doing your own research, you're checking the market, you're comparing prices with other houses, you're doing a lot of investigation, right? Because it's an important decision that affects your life. So all of a sudden you can think for yourself, but when it's the television, people do not think for themselves anymore. In fact, what people do is that instead of asking whether they are being presented is true or not, they are asking themselves, is what I think going to be considered acceptable by other people or not? So they are checking their thinking to make it acceptable. And this is why they also put these displays of virtue on social media to show that their thinking is acceptable. Because like it or not, we now actually live in a thought police society. There is the thing called thought policing. Like when you go on Twitter, eventually you're going to be asked the question, do you think that trans women are women? And if you answer incorrectly, you get the J.K. Rowling treatment. It doesn't matter what your actions are. I mean, you can donate as much money as you want to charities. You can dedicate your life to try to improve the situations of trans people. That doesn't matter. What matters is your thinking. Do you believe? Do you believe? That is the question that you're inevitably going to ask to see and separate whether you're a person that they can have a conversation with or you're a bad person. It's kind of how religious people in a theocratic society would ask you, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Right? Like, it doesn't matter if you're a good person and you follow all the commandments and you're living the life of a Christian. Like, if you don't answer that question correctly, if you do not believe what's in your heart, what's in your brain, then you are a bad person. And there is no other conversation that can be had. You're a person that's evil, that's vile, because you're thinking incorrectly. So this is the type of culture that is now being fermented in the West. And obviously, it's being enforced at the corporate level. It's not being enforced by the government, but the government suggests that the corporations behave in a certain way. And then all the corporations just behave with the same unison, which is very beautiful in its way on how corporations work hand in hand to improve our lives and our thinking. And this is what you get, right? Because if you have the wrong opinions, if you have the wrong thing, then you can be unhireable, then you can be fired from your university, you can be fired from your job. In other words, you don't go to jail, but good luck paying your rent, good luck buying food, good luck doing any of that, because you have been guilty of wrong things. So there are two types of people. People who have low confidence, which are encouraging the system, and they're not only just checking to see whether or not other people find it acceptable with what they are thinking, but they also attack other people who think incorrectly. Like, they're the first ones to attack other people for being on the wrong side of history, for example, as you see on Twitter. And then you have the people who have confidence in themselves and people who think for themselves. They realize that the world isn't black and white, that it's got shades of gray, and they try to formulate arguments. And these are the people that have a backbone and they have confidence in themselves. But to give you the best analogy that I can think of, and this is what I want you guys to get from this video, imagine this analogy, because I think it's spot on. When boys become teenagers and they start dating women for the first time and some of them lack confidence, so they go out with a woman and they say literally whatever the woman wants to hear, whether it's true or not. So, for example, let's say you're talking to a woman and she says, oh, I like jogging. And the guy goes like, oh, you like jogging? Oh my God, I love jogging. I jog all day long. And the woman goes like, well, I don't jog all the time. I jog like once or twice a month. And the guy goes like, oh, well, absolutely. I mean, I don't jog that much either, because I read that if you jog all the time, you put strain on your body and it's not that healthy. And she goes like, yeah, but I want to start jogging a little bit more from now on. And the guy goes like, oh, yes, absolutely. You should try to improve yourself. So he's really like a leaf in the wind. Like, he doesn't seem to have any strong opinions himself. He's just saying whatever he thinks that the woman likes to hear. And this is exactly what a lot of people do with the television. They don't have like the strict opinion on the things that are on the television, but they are just saying, they're parroting whatever that famous person on TV is telling them to parrot. And they don't care whether or not it's true. They don't care whether or not it's a good thing. They don't care anything like that. What they care about is, how will other people think of me if I say this thing? And if you guys want to check my other video where I talk about late night comedians in the United States, this is literally their format. This is literally how they make comedy. So they will have a segment where they say something that's factually correct for 2 minutes, and then they will make a joke about it, and everyone in the audience will laugh. And then they immediately move on before you even have time to think what happened. So what they're actually doing is they are saying that certain positions are untenable. Like, if you have those specific opinions, then everyone is going to laugh at you. Everyone is going to mock at you. So the viewer has to internalize the fact that if they go out in public with those particular opinions, everyone is going to laugh at them. And obviously, everything is manufactured. It's smoke and mirrors. Like, the audience is paid to be there. The audience is told to laugh. The comedy show is not even comedy. It's preaching to people on how to think. And you notice that all of the late night comedians in the United States, they support the same party. They support the same candidate. They have the exact same opinion on controversial issues. They don't disagree with each other. And that's what it is, right? You can point out just how bad things are getting with the fact that there are no more two sides of the same issue anymore. Like, when I grew up, this is what my teachers would tell me. Like, every issue has two sides and you should listen both sides before making a intellectual opinion. And usually things are more with shades of gray than black and white. But now, no, everything is black and white. You have truth and you have misinformation. And the solution to combat misinformation is always censorship. Censoring the people who spread the misinformation, removing the misinformation there. They don't even address the concept that maybe you can combat misinformation with good information. Like, people are adults, and if you will show them the facts, they're willing to listen to you. And if your facts are solid and ironclad, then surely they cannot be debunked. But no, that is not the way free, liberal, democratic societies operate. It's just like, this is the correct thing. You need to think like this, because if you don't think like this, you'll be ostracized. And as such, many people just think like that. So that's the way the media works. That's how I would explain it. It's basically like people don't ask question whether or not what they're seeing on television is true. The question that they're asking is, how will other people react if I think like this? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.